Nobody ever told you this. But the most intimidating man in any room is usually the quietest one. Not the loudest, not the most aggressive, not the guy performing for everyone's attention. The quiet one. The still one. And if you've ever been in a room with a man like that, you already know exactly what I'm talking about, because you felt it before he even said a word. So what is that? What is he actually doing that you're not? That question used to keep me up at night, because most men think confidence is about being dominant, taking up space, pretending nothing bothers you. But the most confident men you've ever encountered aren't doing any of that. They're doing something almost invisible, something quieter. And once you understand what it is, you will never look at confidence the same way again. Picture this. There's a guy at a gathering. He's sitting back, relaxed, not performing for anyone. Someone makes a joke at his expense. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't laugh it off nervously. He just holds eye contact and lets the moment breathe, comfortable in a silence that other people find unbearable. And slowly, quietly, everyone in that room starts gravitating toward him. Not because he demanded it, because he didn't need it. That's what this video is about. The real psychology behind male confidence. What it actually is. Why people feel it before you even speak. And how you build it without faking a single thing. Here's where most men get it wrong. They treat confidence like it's external. Body language, eye contact, a deeper voice, a firm handshake. Those things matter, but they are not the source. They are the result. What happens on the outside when something very specific is happening on the inside. Real confidence comes from one thing: certainty about yourself. Not perfection, not success, not having everything figured out. Just certainty. Knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you're okay losing. When a man has that internal stability, something shifts. He stops looking for approval. He stops scanning the room to see how he's being received. And the moment that stops, everything changes. Because here's the paradox. The less you chase respect, the more naturally it comes to you. The less you try to impress someone, the more impressive you become. The human brain is constantly reading others for signals of certainty or uncertainty. And it does this faster than conscious thought. Which brings us to the behavior that silently destroys perceived confidence, even when everything else looks right. Over-adjusting based on other people's reactions. You say something. You immediately look to see how it landed. You notice a silence. You notice a facial expression. And then you shift. You soften your opinion. You add a laugh where there wasn't one. You try to recover the moment. That micro-adjustment, that tiny pivot away from what you just said, signals one thing to everyone watching. I'm not fully sure about myself. The confident man does the opposite. He says his thing. Silence hits. He sits in it, relaxed, unbothered, and lets the other person figure out how to respond. No backtracking, no performance, just stillness. And that stillness is what people remember long after the conversation ends. So let's define it properly. Confidence is not dominance, not arrogance, not a mask. At its core, real confidence is simply this: being okay with not being liked. Think about what that actually looks like in real life. It's the man who shares his honest opinion in a group, pauses, and doesn't immediately scan every face for validation. It's the guy who gets rejected and doesn't collapse or over-explain. He just nods and moves, unbothered, whole, like he already knew his value before she gave her answer. Because when you're genuinely okay with not being liked, you stop filtering yourself. The real you comes out unedited, unguarded. And ironically, That is when you become the most magnetic person in any room. Here's the shift. Just one, and it's internal. Next time you feel that pressure to impress, pause for 1 second. Ask yourself, what would I do right now if I didn't need anyone's approval? Then do exactly that. No matter how small. Test it tonight in one real moment. Because confidence isn't something you perform. It's something people feel in their bones the moment you walk in. And once they feel it from you, the way you hold silence, the way you stop chasing, the way you move like a man who doesn't need the room's permission, they will never forget how you made them feel. That's not a skill, that's a standard. And it starts tonight.